The twin sons of Valoria were sinking behind the crystal towers when Captain Aaron Hale, a human officer, stepped into the alien marketplace. He was sent by Earth Command for a peace mission: observe, report, and avoid trouble. But from the moment he entered, Aaron felt that something was different. The Valorian market was beautiful and strange. Floating lanterns drifted in the air, glowing with blue fire. Shops were built from living metal that moved like soft waves. Alien families walked in the streets with long white robes that shimmered under the sunlight. Everything looked peaceful, almost too peaceful. Aaron kept reminding himself of the most important rule of Valoria: never touch a Valorian female's hand. Human diplomats repeated this rule every hour. It was written on every sign. It was even included in the safety briefing video on Aaron's ship. A hand touch here was not a small mistake, it was a sacred cultural act. Aaron walked carefully, trying not to bump into anyone. His translator earpiece whispered the meaning of alien words around him. He admired a stall selling glowing fruits when he heard a sudden loud boom from the far end of the street. People screamed. A blue smoke cloud rose in the sky. Aaron's military instinct kicked in. He pushed through the crowd to see what happened. A small hover cart had exploded. Fire flickered from it, and pieces of metal lay everywhere near the burning cart. He saw a young Valorian girl, maybe around his age, trapped under a fallen metal beam. Her long silver hair was covered in dust. She tried to move, but cried out in pain. Everyone around her froze. They watched, but did nothing. Aaron didn't understand. "Why aren't they helping her?" he shouted. A nearby shopkeeper whispered, voice shaking, "She is a Valorian daughter. Touching her may trigger the rite." Aaron didn't listen to the rest. He ran forward. The metal beam was hot, but he pushed it off her with all his strength. She tried to stand, but her balance was weak. Aaron reached out his hand, pure instinct. No thought, only humanity. She looked up, frightened but trusting, and placed her palm in his. Their hands touched. It lasted only 3 seconds. 3 simple seconds. But in those seconds, everything changed. The air around them seemed to freeze. The crowd gasped. Some people fell to their knees. Guards standing nearby stopped talking. A cold wind, though impossible in the warm evening, seemed to pass between them. The girl stared at Aaron's face with wide, glowing violet eyes. Her lips parted slightly. She whispered a single sentence, her voice shaking. "Human. You just chose me." Aaron loosened his grip immediately. "What? No, I was just helping you." "You were hurt." But the girl did not step away from him. Instead, she moved 1 step closer, still staring with a shocked but strangely hopeful expression. The marketplace burst into whispers. Life bond. The ancestral right. He triggered it. Aaron's heart raced. He didn't know their language. But his translator repeated the words in English, slowly, seriously. Like issuing a warning, life bond activated. The girl looked terrified. But not because of Aaron. She whispered, "You touched my palm." A Valorian female's palm. Only a chosen mate is allowed. She swallowed hard. "According to our ancient culture, you just selected me for life." Aaron's mind crashed. Selected? Wait. I didn't choose anything. I was helping you from the explosion. But before he could say more, a deep horn echoed across the marketplace. Valorian royal guards marched forward in silver armor. They formed a circle around Aaron and the girl. People bowed their heads. One guard stepped forward. His voice was loud and sharp like metal. "Human traveler, you have performed the ancestral rite of palm bonding with a Valorian daughter. By our law, you must be taken to the High Council." Aaron raised both hands defensively. "This is a misunderstanding. I'm a visitor. A soldier. I didn't know your rules." The guard ignored his words. Instead, he turned to the girl. She lifted her chin. "I am Lyra Visari, daughter of House Visari," she said with trembling pride. "And the human saved my life." The guards exchanged looks. Another guard said slowly, "Then the bond is genuine." Aaron stepped back. "Bond? What bond?" Lyra turned to him, her expression soft but overwhelmed. "Aaron Hale. Once a human touches a Valorian female's palm, it creates a connection that cannot be broken easily. It is our oldest law. Our entire culture is built around it." Someone in the crowd shouted, "The human claimed her." Another gasped, "The rite is complete." Aaron felt every eye on him, fear, respect, shock. Anger. Lyra looked up at him and whispered, almost sadly, "You may not believe this, but by our tradition, I belong to you now." Aaron froze. He had come for peace. He had come for diplomacy. He had come to observe an alien world, but with one simple human act helping. Someone in danger he had just become, part of a sacred alien ritual. He had accidentally become the lifelong mate of an alien girl, and the entire planet knew it. The royal guards escorted Aaron Hale and Lyra Visari through the shining streets of Valoria. The marketplace chaos faded behind them, but the whispers did not. Every Valorian they passed bowed lightly to Lyra and stared at Aaron as if he carried a weapon too dangerous for the galaxy. Aaron walked stiffly, still confused, still repeating the same thing in his mind. "I only helped her. I didn't pick a mate. I didn't choose anything." The palace rose ahead. Huge crystal towers formed like growing trees. When they entered, the ground hummed with soft energy. Tall windows showed the twin suns almost gone, leaving violet light across the sky. The guards stopped in a vast hall where a group of elders sat in floating chairs. The air felt heavier here, like every breath was being watched. A tall elder with silver markings on his face spoke first. "Human, state your name." "Captain Aaron Hale," he replied. The elder nodded. "You have touched the palm of a Valorian daughter. This action carries the weight of our oldest law, the ancestral life bond." Aaron raised both hands, frustrated. "I didn't know your cultural rule. I just tried to save her from the explosion." Lyra stepped forward quickly. "It is true. He acted to protect me. He meant no disrespect." The eldest woman on the council leaned forward, her glowing eyes unreadable. And yet, the rite was activated. Aaron swallowed. "Explain this law clearly." The hall became quiet, like the breath of the entire palace held still for a moment. The elder began slowly. "In Valorian tradition, a female's palm is sacred. The skin carries ancestral memory. A direct touch on the center of the palm," he pointed to his own hand, "signals that the female recognizes the touch and accepts the one touching as a potential life mate." Aaron blinked. Recognizes, accepts. She was trapped under metal. She was in danger. Lyra lowered her eyes. But the bond does not rely only on the moment. It reacts to the heart's truth. The elders murmured in agreement. The elder continued, "If her palm responded, even in fear, even in confusion, it means that somewhere in her spirit, she acknowledged you." Aaron couldn't breathe for a second. He looked at Lyra. She looked torn, confused, embarrassed, but not angry. Aaron said, "I didn't force anything." "I didn't intend, we know," the elder woman interrupted gently. "But the rite is biological as much as cultural. It cannot be undone easily. Some life bonds last for years, others for life." Aaron felt his stomach twist. "Are you telling me I'm married now?" The council flinched at the human word. Lyra spoke quickly. "No, not married, but connected. The bond ties our futures together. A decision must be made. What decision? Aaron asked. The elder leaned back, his voice echoing through the hall. You must either complete the bond or face the trial of severance. Aaron stared. Trial of what? A challenge, the elder woman explained. A dangerous journey into the wild regions. If you survive and the bond breaks, you will both be free. Aaron exhaled sharply. And if I don't survive? Then the bond remains, the elder said calmly. And the girl lives on. Mateless, forever. Lyra gasped softly. That is cruel. He did nothing wrong. The elders exchanged uncomfortable looks. Another elder said, the right is ancient. It cannot be questioned. Aaron rubbed his forehead. So either I stay bonded to her forever, or I risk dying in a jungle full of alien beasts. Great options. Before the council could speak again, a loud metallic stomp echoed through the hall. The heavy door opened. An armored warrior entered, tall, muscular, with sharp, glowing lines across his arms. Rax or Aaron recognized him from the marketplace, the man who stared at Lyra. Earlier, with possessive fury, Raxer bowed slightly to the elders but kept his eyes locked on Aaron. This human has taken what was meant to be mine. Lyra stiffened in anger. I am not an object. Raxer ignored her and stepped forward. I challenge the human to the trial of endurance. A direct duel for the right to keep the bond. Aaron's heart dropped. A duel? With you. I'm human. Raxer smiled coldly. Yes, that is the point. Lyra stepped between them, breathing hard. Raxer, the right is sacred. You cannot use it for your pride. The right gives me every right, he growled. Aaron looked around. Can someone stop this guy? Anyone? But the elders remained silent. The decision was clear. The bond had begun. And Aaron's peaceful mission was now a fight for survival. The council chamber grew colder the moment Raxer stepped forward. His heavy boots echoed on the crystal floor, each step louder than the last. Aaron felt the man's presence like a storm, tall, broad-shouldered, built like a titan from alien myths. His armor pulsed with a faint blue glow, showing he was not just any warrior. He was a champion of Valoria. Aaron had fought pirates, smugglers, and mercenaries during Earth missions. But this man was something else. Something dangerous. Something born to dominate a battlefield. Raxer's voice sliced through the silence. Human, you touched a palm that was meant for me. Aaron blinked. Meant for you. She's not a toy you own. Lyra stepped closer to Aaron, almost protectively. I never agreed to Raxer. My family tried to push for a union, but I refused. Raxer's eyes darkened, and now this. Outsider steals what my house has claimed for generations. The elders tried to calm the room, but the tension kept building. Aaron held up his hands. Let's get one thing straight. I didn't steal anyone. I saw someone in danger and helped. That's all. Raxar tilted his head, amusement flickering in his eyes. How noble, how human. His tone made it sound like an insult. Raxer then pointed a finger directly at Aaron. I challenge you to the trial of endurance. Winner holds the bond. Loser steps away forever. Aaron almost laughed at the insanity. Man, I can't even pronounce half your trials. I'm not fighting you. But Lyra grabbed his arm tight. You don't understand. Valorian trials are not optional once challenged. Declining is seen as cowardice. The bond becomes dishonored. Her voice shook. Dishonored bonds ruin lives. Aaron looked at her. For the first time, she seemed truly scared. Raxer smirked. Do you hear her, human? You refused, and she will pay the price. Aaron felt anger rise in his chest. He hated bullies, no matter the planet. He stepped forward. I'm not letting anyone suffer because of me. but I'm also not dying in some alien game. Before anyone replied, Aaron asked, "What exactly is this trial?" Aksar crossed his arms proudly. "A test of will, strength, spirit. You will run, climb, fight, and survive in the arena of thorns. If you collapse even once, you lose. If a beast strikes you down, you lose. If you bleed too long," his lips curved, "you lose." Aaron whistled softly. "Sounds fun." Raxer leaned in, whispering darkly, "I will enjoy watching you fall." Lyra stepped between them again, fury glowing in her eyes. "Enough. This isn't a fight for honor. This is your ego." Raxar ignored her, eyes locked on Aaron. "You took what I desired. Whether you meant to or not, destiny now demands a duel." Aaron's jaw clenched. "I didn't take anything, but I'm not afraid of you," the hall murmured. A human challenging a Valorian warrior was almost unheard of. Lyra touched Aaron's sleeve gently, voice low. "Don't provoke him," Aaron whispered back. "He's already provoked." The council leader finally raised his hand. "The challenge is accepted. The trial of endurance will take place at dawn." Aaron felt his blood run cold. Dawn? Less than 12 hours. The guards escorted Raxer out. He looked over his shoulder one last time and said, "Prepare your body, human. It will be broken soon." When the hall emptied, only Aaron and Lyra remained. Aaron sat heavily on a stone bench. Well, this escalated fast. Lyra paced, gripping her head with both hands. "This is bad. This is very bad. Raxer is trained since childhood. He's fought creatures that would kill a human in seconds. Great. Just what I needed." Lyra looked at him. Rioli looked at him. "Why did you say yes?" Aaron shrugged. "Because if I said no, you'd suffer. And I don't let people suffer because of me." Her expression softened. "Humans, you care so much, even for strangers." "I'm a soldier," Aaron said quietly. "Saving people is the job." Lyra sat beside him, closer than before. "You won't face the trial alone. I will help you train for the next few hours. Training in 12 hours. Aaron raised a brow. "That's insane." Lyra's lips formed a sad smile. "Aloria is insane. But so is destiny." Aaron inhaled deeply. "So what happens if I win?" Lyra's cheeks warmed with a faint glow. "Then the bond strengthens. And our connection becomes official. And if I lose?" Lyra's eyes dimmed. "Then Raxer claims the right to challenge me again. And you will never be allowed near me." Aaron rubbed his face. "Yeah, no pressure." Lyra stood up and extended her hand. "Come, I will show you the training hall." Aaron took her hand, not her palm, but her wrist, the safe way. And as they walked deeper into the palace, both of them knew, tomorrow, one human against one alien champion would decide the fate of a bond neither of them chose. Astrous night fell over Valoria like silent purple silk. The twin suns vanished behind the silver mountains, and the palace lights dimmed to a soft blue glow. Most of the capital slept peacefully, except for two people who were alive with fear, urgency, and a plan that could end badly for both of them. Inside a quiet practice hall, Aaron Hale struggled to lift a strange Valorian training spear. It was heavier than anything he had carried back on Earth, shaped like a long crystal shard with glowing veins inside it. Sweat ran down his forehead as he swung it again, and nearly fell on his face. Lyra, watching from a distance, bit her lip. "You will not survive the trial," she whispered, almost too softly for even herself to hear. Aaron caught her expression. "You know," he said, dropping the spear with a loud clank, "if you want to say I'm terrible at this, just say it." Lyra stepped forward. "You're not terrible. You're human." The trial was not made for humans. He gave a tired laugh. "Wow, that makes me feel so much better." But Lyra wasn't smiling now. She was staring toward the high windows where armored guards patrolled the palace walls. "Aaron, listen carefully," she said. "If you fight tomorrow, Raxar will kill you." Aaron swallowed, but didn't deny it. He knew it. She knew it. Lyra glanced around to ensure they were alone, then lowered her voice even more. "There is another way. A way out of this bond, without you dying." Aaron blinked. "You mean breaking it?" "The elders said the elders lied," she cut in. "They hide a path, a secret one. It's old, dangerous, forbidden." Aaron crossed his arms. "Forbidden is better than dead." Lyra took a deep breath, then touched a small crystal tablet hanging from her belt. A map glowed into the air, an old shrine deep inside the wild jungles of Valoria. "The Shrine of First Light," she said. "The place where the bond was born. If we reach it and perform the ancient reversal, we can separate our lives without punishment." Aaron stared at the glowing map. "But it's far and dangerous, right?" Lyra nodded. "Filled with creatures that even Raxar fears. But it's better than facing him in the arena." Aaron chuckled nervously. "Great. Jungle monsters or an angry alien warrior. I love my options." Lyra stepped closer, her violet eyes glowing softly. "You saved me. Now let me save you." Aaron looked at her for a long moment, seeing the fear she tried to hide, the courage she forced to stay. "All right," he said finally. "Let's get out of here." Lyra exhaled in relief, but escaping a Valorian palace was not simple. She led Aaron through empty training halls, past glowing pillars, and down a long spiral stairway that reached the outer gardens. The night air smelled of silver flowers, and tiny floating lights drifted around them like fireflies. "This way," Lyra whispered, pointing to a hidden gate in the garden wall. But before they reached it, footsteps echoed behind them. Aaron froze. Lyra did too. A guard patrol, they pressed themselves behind a tall, vine-covered sculpture. Two guards walked past holding glowing staffs, speaking quietly. Aaron leaned close to Lyra's ear. "They usually patrol at night." "No," she whispered. "They increased security after the bond. The palace fears outside interference, or a secret escape." Aaron sighed. "Fantastic timing." The guards disappeared. Lyra pulled Aaron toward the hidden gate. She pressed her palm against a small crystal panel. The wall shimmered, then opened. But just as they stepped outside, a soft voice spoke behind them. "Going somewhere, Lyra." They turned sharply. A young Valorian woman stood in the shadows. Her face looked gentle, but her eyes were sharp like blades. Aaron had seen her earlier in the council hall. She was Mira, a junior advisor known for her loyalty to the elders. Lyra tensed. "Mira, please, let us go." Mira stepped forward. "If you run, the elders will accuse you of treason. They may even hunt you." Aaron swallowed. "We don't have a choice." Mira's eyes softened when she looked at Aaron. "He saved you once. And now you want to save him. I understand." Lyra grabbed Mira's hands. "Then help us, please." A long silence passed. Finally, Mira nodded slowly. "You have until dawn. After that, I cannot protect you." She stepped aside, letting them pass through the hidden gate. "May the ancient spirits protect your path." She whispered. Aaron and Lyra rushed into the night, the jungle shadows waiting for them like open jaws. Behind them, the palace bells began to ring softly. The escape had been discovered. And somewhere in the city, Raxar opened his eyes, smiling. The night swallowed Aaron and Lyra as they left the capital behind. The glowing towers of Valoria became smaller and smaller until they looked like distant stars. Ahead of them stretched the Astra Jungla Wild, forbidden forests filled with ancient creatures and unpredictable energy storms. Aaron stared at the towering trees, each one glowing faintly like they were alive. Thick vines twisted around the trunks, and strange blue mist drifted across the ground. He took a deep breath. This place looks like someone mixed a nightmare with a fairy tale. Lyra stepped beside him, her face serious. This jungle is older than my entire race. It watches everything. It judges everything, and it never forgives mistakes. Great, Aaron muttered. Exactly what I needed. They entered the jungle quietly. The air felt warmer, heavier, filled with a scent like sharp metal and sweet fruit. The branches moved even when there was no wind. Leaves whispered as if they were talking to each other. Aaron walked carefully behind Lyra, who used her glowing wrist crystal to scan the path. After some minutes, he asked Lyra, "How far is the shrine?" She hesitated. 2 days. If creatures don't attack us, creatures. Aaron repeated, plural. Lyra nodded. Many. Aaron groaned softly. A strange silence. The deeper they went, the quieter it became. No birds, no insects. No sound of wind, just silence. And silence in a dangerous place was never a good sign. Lyra held up her hand. Stop. Aaron froze. Lyra crouched down, touching the ground. Her finger came back red. That's not blood, she whispered. It's pulse sap. Is that bad? Aaron asked. Double quotes, yes. Only one creature leaves this behind. Aaron swallowed. Which one? Before she could answer, the trees around them trembled. A low growl rumbled through the jungle floor. Lyra grabbed Aaron's wrist. Run. The first beast. They sprinted through thick vines and roots, dodging branches and leaping over glowing puddles. The growl behind them grew louder, closer, like thunder chasing them. Aaron risked a look over his shoulder. A creature emerged from the shadows, tall as a truck. Skin like rough stone. 4 glowing eyes. A Gorvath beast. Its jaws opened, showing crystal-like fangs. Aaron's legs almost gave out. Lyra, it's huge. Don't stop, she shouted. Gorvath's hunt by sound. Aaron yelled back, we're literally running and screaming. How is this helping? Lyra suddenly grabbed his arm and pulled him behind a large tree. Quiet. The beast stopped, growling deeply. Its nostrils flared, sniffing the air. Its glowing eyes scanned the darkness. Aaron held his breath. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3. The beast started to walk away. Aaron whispered. That was Chloe. A branch snapped under his foot. The beast roared with explosive force. Run. Lyra screamed. The ground shook as the Gorvath charged. Aaron spotted a narrow opening between 2 giant roots. Lyra there. They dove inside. The beast slammed into the roots, shaking the entire forest. The creature clawed at the gap, but the opening was too small for its huge body. After several angry roars, the beast finally retreated into the darkness. Aaron collapsed on the forest floor, breathing heavily. That was insane. Lyra looked at him, relief in her eyes. But you reacted fast. Without that opening, we would have died. Aaron smirked. I'm full of surprises. A moment of quiet. They rested near a glowing waterfall. The water shimmered like liquid silver, reflecting the strange leaves above them. Lyra washed her hands and sat beside Aaron. You handled the jungle better than I expected, she said softly. Aaron grinned. Is that a compliment or an insult? A compliment, she said, smiling faintly. Their eyes met for a moment. Just a moment, but enough to feel something shift inside both of them. But before the moment deepened, Lyra's smile faded. We must move. The Gorvath is only one danger. The forest will send more. Aaron stood slowly. So the jungle hates visitors? No, Lyra said, tightening her wrist strap. It hates those who carry the bond. Aaron frowned. What does that have to do with the jungle? Lyra hesitated. The bond is connected to ancient energy. The forest senses it and tests it. Tests it how? Lyra looked into the darkness. By trying to break the bondholder's spirit, Aaron felt a cold chill. Fantastic. A jungle with trust issues. Lyra placed her hand on his shoulder. We will get through this, Aaron. Together. Aaron nodded. Together. But as they walked deeper into the glowing wilderness, neither of them noticed a pair of red eyes watching them from the shadows. Eyes full of hatred. Eyes belonging to Raxar, who had followed them into the forbidden jungle. Asterisk. The Astra jungle grew darker as Aaron and Lyra walked deeper into its ancient heart. The glowing plants dimmed until only faint lights remained, like dying stars scattered across the ground. The air grew colder. Even the trees stood still, as if they were waiting. Lyra kept checking the map on her crystal tablet. We're close, she whispered. The shrine of first light should be ahead. Aaron looked around nervously. I hope whatever is inside that shrine can actually break the bond. Lyra hesitated. Or reveal a truth we don't expect. Aaron frowned. What do you mean? But before she could answer, the ground beneath them shook gently. A low hum traveled through the air, vibrating through Aaron's bones. The jungle parted ahead. Opening into a massive clearing, at the center stood an enormous structure, half temple, half living organism. The walls were carved from polished white stone, but glowing vines wrapped around it like veins. Blue energy pulsed inside them, as if the shrine itself was breathing. Aaron whispered, "This looks alive." Lyra nodded. This place is older than Valoria, older than the Elders. It holds memories from thousands of years. They slowly walked toward the entrance. The air shimmered, reacting to their presence. When they reached the door, Lyra placed her hand gently on the surface. A bright wave of light surged through the stone. It opened for you? Aaron asked. It opened for the bond, she replied softly. Only bonded pairs can enter. The door slid aside. Inside was a massive circular chamber glowing with soft golden light. Strange symbols lined the wall's Valorian markings, spiraling like star paths. In the center stood a floating sphere of blue crystal, slowly rotating. Aaron felt a strange pull toward it, like invisible threads tugging at his chest. Lyra stepped forward first. This is the ancestral core. Aaron circled around it. So this can undo the bond between us. Lyra didn't respond immediately. Instead, she traced her fingers over the markings on the sphere. These symbols. They're not instructions. They're history. What kind of history? Aaron asked. The history of the rite itself. The chamber brightened suddenly, and the floating sphere unfolded like a blooming flower. A holographic figure formed, a tall Valorian woman with silver hair and glowing eyes. She looked ancient and wise. Aaron instinctively stepped back. Is that a ghost? Lyra shook her head in awe. No, that's the first queen of Valorio, Queen Visera. She created the bond centuries ago. The hologram turned to Lyra, then to Aaron. Her voice echoed through the entire chamber, smooth and calm. Valorian daughter. Human outsider. The ancestral rite has awakened in you both. You seek truth. And release. Aaron tightened his fists. Yes, we want to break this bond. It was an accident. The queen raised her hand. Accidents do not activate the rite. Aaron blinked. That's impossible. I didn't choose anything. The queen's glowing eyes softened. The rite responds only to mutual recognition. A palm touch alone is not enough. The female spirit must accept the one touching her. Only then does the bond awaken. Aaron turned slowly to Lyra. Your spirit accepted me. Lyra looked shocked, hurt, confused, uncertain. I I didn't know. I didn't feel anything special. I was scared. I thought I was dying. The Queen's voice echoed again. Fear blinds the mind, but not the heart. The moment he touched you, you felt safety, trust. And trust is the root of the right. Lyra's breath caught. She stared at Aaron with wide eyes, her voice small. I felt safe. Without thinking, Aaron's own heart tightened. Before he could speak, the Queen continued, You may break the bond. But understand this, once broken, it cannot form again. Your paths will separate forever. Lyra's eyes dropped to the ground. Aaron whispered, Lyra, do you want the bond broken? Lyra didn't answer immediately. The room fell into deep silence. Finally, she looked up, her violet eyes shimmering in the golden light. There is something I must confess. Before the explosion, I saw you in the marketplace. You helped a child pick up fallen fruits. I thought. You were kind. Different from other humans I've met. Aaron blinked. So you noticed me before all this? Lyra nodded. My spirit recognized you even then. I didn't understand it, but now I do. The chamber pulsed with a brighter glow, as if reacting to her words. Aaron stepped closer. And what about now? Lyra's voice trembled. I don't know if I want to break the bond anymore. Aaron swallowed hard. Emotions boiling inside him, but before either could speak, the shrine suddenly darkened. A shadow fell across the entrance. Heavy footsteps echoed. A deep, furious voice growled, Step away from her. The bond belongs to me. Raxer stood at the door, eyes burning red, holding a spear dripping with jungle sap. The Queen's hologram flickered violently. Lyra gasped. Aaron stepped in front of her. The trial was no longer about survival. It had become war. Raxer stepped into the shrine like a living storm. His armor dripped with jungle sap, and his eyes glowed red with rage. The sacred chamber trembled under his heavy footsteps. Aaron instinctively moved in front of Lyra, blocking Raxer's path. That's far enough. Raxer raised his spear. You dare stand between me and what is mine. Lyra stepped from behind Aaron, her voice sharp. I am not yours, Raxer. I never was. But Raxer ignored her, his gaze fixed on Aaron like a predator hunting prey. The hologram of Queen Visera flickered. This shrine is sacred. Violence here will bring consequences. Raxer snarled. I fear no consequences. Only dishonor in this human is the cause. He lunged. Aaron barely dodged the first strike. The spear slammed into the floor, cracking the stone. Energy sparks flew like lightning. Aaron rolled to the side, grabbing a fallen branch of glowing vine, his only weapon. Lyra cried out, Aaron, he's stronger than anything you fought before. Aaron smirked breathlessly. Yeah, I noticed. Raxer swung again, faster this time. Aaron blocked with the vine just barely before being thrown back across the chamber. Lyra rushed to him. Are you hurt? Aaron pushed himself up, breathing hard. Yeah, but I'm still alive. Raxer marched toward them. Not for long. Queen Visera lifted her translucent hand. The bond can only be claimed by mutual hearts, not by force. Raxer roared. I will break this human and claim the right by victory. He charged again. This time, Aaron didn't dodge. He stood still until the last second, then stepped aside, grabbed Raxer's arm, and used his momentum to throw him against the shrine wall. The chamber shook. Raxer looked shocked, then furious. Aaron wiped sweat from his forehead. Human trick. Learned from a drunk mercenary on Mars. Raxer rushed again, but Lyra suddenly stepped between them, palms glowing. Stop. A wave of blue energy burst from her hands, blasting Raxer backward. He hit the ground hard. Stunned, Aaron stared at her. You can do that. Lyra swallowed. The bond made my energy react. I didn't know it was possible. Queen Visara spoke again. The awakened bond strengthens those who accept it. Aaron looked at Lyra. Lyra looked at Aaron, and in that moment, they both knew the truth. They didn't want to break the bond. Not anymore. Raxer rose slowly, panting, blood on his lip. No, this cannot happen. She was promised to me. Lyra's voice trembled, but stayed firm. I choose Aaron, not because of the right, not because of tradition, but because he treats me as an equal, not a prize. The chamber glowed brighter. The queen's hologram spread its arms wide. The rite is fulfilled. The bond is complete. Raxar howled in rage and threw his spear at Aaron without thinking. Lyra jumped in front of Aaron. The spear stopped, mid-air frozen in blue energy. Lyra crushed it with one hand. Aaron stared in awe. Remind me never to make you angry. Lyra smiled faintly. Raxar fell to his knees, defeated. Queen Visara's voice echoed across the shrine. Return to the capital. The council must witness the true bond. Return to Valoriath. Journey back through the jungle was different. The creatures, no longer attacked. The vines moved aside for them. The path opened wherever Lyra walked, Dotterin whispered. Amazed, it's like the forest accepts us now. Lyra replied softly. The forest respects truth. When they reached the capital gates at dawn, crowds gathered instantly. Whispers rippled through the city. The human returned. The bond is real. She walks beside him willingly. The council members hurried out, shocked. Raxar, escorted by guards, stumbled behind them. Defeated and ashamed, the council leader looked at Lyra. Child, do you accept this human as your life bond? Lyra lifted her chin proudly. Yes, I accept him. Then the elder looked at Aaron. And you, human? Do you accept the bond with our daughter knowing it ties you to Valoria forever? Aaron glanced at Lyra. Her violet eyes glowed softly. Hopeful, he smiled. Yes, I accept. A wave of golden light swept across the capital. The air warmed. The crowd cheered. The bond was official. But before the celebration could begin, a strange transmission echoed from the sky. A holographic warning flashed above the city. Attention, Valoria. This is the Dominion Empire. We have detected a cross-species bond involving human energy signatures. Prepare for investigation. Aaron froze. Lyra grabbed his hand. The council gasped. The elder whispered, a new enemy approaches. Aaron squeezed Lyra's hand. Whatever comes, we face it together. Lyra smiled, heart steady. Together.